Alright guys, what's going on? Hope everybody is trading well. It's been a while since I made a video going over the market and everything going on, so I figured I should do that this week. So I'm going to start with gold today because we've actually heard a lot about gold in the news recently, especially with the Fed meetings coming up. So it'd be good to go over that and talk about what I'm thinking there. Um, I have to bite the bullet on this one. Last time I went over gold, I thought we were going to go lower. I thought we were setting up um, an opportunity to go lower. So we were up here, I think, the last time our video came up, or the last time I made a video, I mean. And I saw a high to low setup here. I thought we would hit this 50, go to its target, and just continue that way lower. Um, but instead, we never hit that target. Instead of hitting the target, we hit this 50% retracement and bounced higher. Now, we get that retracement because there was a low to high down here, and there were some extensions. This was the first one, probably would have hit 38 there. And then here we started to break, and I figured, we're getting near our prior highs. Gold in general, if we go out, it's like a weekly chart here, you're going to see resistance drop, gets close, drops, gets to the resistance, drops. Closer is this is where we were last time I made the video. I thought we would continue lower. Instead, we just did the next low to high, and so far I've taken off 1273.20, and we're all the way up in the 1350s now. So that's a really big move in gold. And going to back to our daily chart here. So this definitely I was wrong about, and I think we could actually break above this level and move higher for the first time in a while if the Fed meeting tomorrow can boost gold higher. Gold is fun to trade with technical analysis and support levels, resistance levels, etc. But it is controlled by the news in a decent amount compared to other assets. So it'll be interesting tomorrow to see what happens there and see if we can break above these levels. I have some options in GLD, which is the gold ETF. I'll go over that later, seeing what I'm going to hope for there. But that is that for gold, and our target on that low to high is 1386. I think if the Fed meeting goes well, I think we can go right through this resistance level, maybe even hit the target. Might not be in that one day, but we should get there, and then even going above 1400 or so. That's what a lot of analysts have said too, is hitting that 1400 area and moving higher. What we'll go over next then is oil, and last time we talked, we had the extension, and then we had this consolidation area. So we had an extension to go higher, we had a high to low to go lower, and this consolidation, we went a little bit back higher into the 50 and just ripped lower. And really there was no pullback on extensions or anything. And then now we finally got down to an extension, but I'll draw that up real quick. So we had this extension from low to low. It hit our 38%, and we never took out the prior low on June 5th. So because we never took out that prior low and we moved higher, if we can get above this high here on June 10th, we could probably end up doing the next high to low, or could even try to start to move higher in oil. Today it had a huge day. The range was 2.81. That's a lot in oil. And there were talks about, I think Trump tweeted something, and that's what allowed that to have a big move. But oil's been very volatile recently, especially with the news overseas and everything. So we'll see what happens in the long run there, and what happens when we face this 38 and 50 for a second time. And then that target will be 48.37 if we go lower. It will not surprise me if we move higher. I'm not really trading these levels. I'm just kind of watching them to see how they play out. And then we have the S&P 500. This is another one where I was wrong about as well. We had the resistance level. Remember, we had this resistance as well here, broke above, now it became support. Talked about that in my last video. And then I thought that we would hit this level and be resistance again if we got some closes below this. Well, we hit a high to high extension 50%, and just immediately ripped higher. 5 green days in a row from June 3rd and on. And then just a slight pullback, and then we're right back at it. So we're going to test these highs again, and we'll see if we can end up breaking higher from this level this time. And it looks like that will happen. And again, the Fed meeting tomorrow could definitely dictate which direction we go for that period. I do like moving higher here, though. I like how we hit this 50 and just cleanly moved higher without any problems. That shows a strong market, so we'll see if we can continue that going forward. And again, tomorrow's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Going into some of the options that I was doing, I'll start with GLD, which is the gold ETF. So I was looking at how we had an extension high to high here, and we got in between the 38 and the 50, and we started to move higher. We moved higher from our prior high, so that's why I drew this low to this high. And then that 50 was 126.27. So on Friday, I picked up options for this upcoming Friday on the 21st, I believe is the date. So June 21st, I got the 128 strike when we got down to this 126.30 area. And this morning I was pretty happy because when I woke up, we were all the way at 127.80. And I thought, maybe we'll move higher here and get to my strike. And I like to take some of the options off when I get to my strike, when I trade out of the money options like that. And I like to leave some on before we get to the targets at 128.60 and 77. And really, we could end up going even higher from there, depending on how everything turns out. But, as you see here, 9 a.m., we just really dropped. We went from 127.60s at that open down to 126.60s. It was almost $1 from open to close. And then we started to regroup and try to rally back up. And there was just a mini low to high here. But, we'll see how that holds, and we'll see if we can get that move higher. I think, again, it's going to come out of the Fed meeting. I think it's just very back and forth right now until that comes out. But we'll see what happens there. So, again, I got the June 21st, 128 strike, and we will see how that goes. The other options I had that I got rid of were in Google. We had a low to high here. Got the 1105s because that was our prior high. I like to get my option, my out of the money contracts. I like to get the strike price of the prior high. So I got on this Wednesday, I got the June 21st, the same strike as my GLD options. I got the June 21st strike for 1105 because our high was 1104. 1105 was the next strike available. So I got those and was able to take those off for a good profit today. I took some off when we got to the prior high, and then as we approached this target, I took some off there as well. And then I ended up being stopped out because as we were moving higher here, and I already had most of my position cut off, I moved my stop up to a minimum of 100% return. And so that ended up being stopped out, or sorry, it was 150% return as the stop there. So we got stopped out for 150% on some of those options, and the other ones we were able to get off when we hit our prior high and when we hit our target. So that was a pretty good trade on Google. Slowly getting back into the option game and seeing how it goes for me there. But that is pretty much that. There's some other stocks I'm looking at. Maybe I'll go over those another time. But hope this video helps and hope the analysis can match up with yours or see how it matches up with yours and compare it. Trade safe and have a good week.